Good evening and welcome to Back to Basics. Tonight we are going to make 4 cards with one 6x6 designer series paper. Why? Because Stampin' Up! Has 15% off select designer series paper from the annual catalog for the month of August. So I'm going to show you some creative ways to use it. The first one will be, I did some last week, sorry. That's right, with the mystery card. I did various cards with the designer series paper, and today I'm going to show you some more. So these are the supplies that I have pulled out. I have the 6x6 designer series paper. I have sentiments, and this is my new favorite sentiment set called Everyday Greetings. It's a online exclusive, and it has almost everything you need from day to day. It really does, everything. And I have one image I'm going to do, and I'm going to use Playing in the Rain. So I also have 2 pieces of light cardstock and 1 piece of dark cardstock, 2 pieces of white cardstock. So let's start. All right, the main attraction is going to be your cutter, and I'm going to do all the cutting first because I feel that that is really what it makes it easier to put the cards together. So the first thing we're going to do is the designer series paper, and I want to cut one piece that's 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So I'm going to go to 1 1/2 and cut. And then it's 5 1/4, so I'm going to cut 3/4 off. Is that right? 5 1/4. No, it's 5 1/2. Sorry, 5 1/2. So I'm cutting 1/2 inch off. And then I'm going to stick this aside. I'm going to make 4 piles. Now these little scrap pieces I'm going to use on the inside of my card, so I want to keep these. The next thing I'm going to do is 1 inch by 1 inch. So I'm going to cut that 1 inch, and then I'm going to cut 2 1 inch pieces. 1, 2. And then I'm going to stick this piece aside. And these 2 pieces I'm going to cut into triangles. So I'm going to put it way down here in my channel and put the point to point, and I'm going to put my blade in the middle because they're small and I don't want to accidentally dent the corners of those triangles. Okay, the next piece I want to cut is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go 2 1/4, and I need 2 pieces. 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. 1, 2. That's my third pile. Then I want to cut 2 pieces of 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. So I'm going to stick this piece aside, and this should equal 1 1/4. Ta-da! And I want 2 3/4, 2 2 3/4 pieces. Say that 10 times fast. All right, there's 1, 2 3/4. Again, save this little piece. Okay, there's my 4th pile. Then I'm going to cut the dark cardstock, and I'm going to cut this in half at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to cut 1 3/4. I know this seems redundant, but So this is for our first card. It should fit just right. Okay? Then I'm going to cut a piece, let's see, we'll do the 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to do it this way, 3.5. Is that right? I'm confusing myself, but yeah, 3.5. I need one piece, 3.5 by 3.5. And that goes with the little triangle pieces because we're going to put those in the corner. Stick that aside. And then I want 2.5 by 1 3/4. So let's see. This is 1.5. Not quite wide enough, so I'll do 2.5 by 1 3/4. 1 3/4. And then I'm going to do 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. Confusing, I know. So 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. 1 1/4. And remember, save these little, you think that these pieces don't do anything, but we're going to use them. Okay. And then I want 3 pieces, 3, wrong numbers, 3 pieces of 3 inches by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to do 3 inches by 1.5. I need 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm going to stick this little piece aside, and these 3 pieces go with these 2 pieces. And then I also need 2 pieces of 2.5 by 2.5. So I'll cut it this way, 2.5 by 2.5. 2.5. And remember, keep this little piece. So that goes with these pieces. And then I need 1 piece that's, or I guess I needed 2 pieces that were 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. I'll just use this. 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. Right? Yeah. Okay. That one goes with the first card. So I think I have it all. 1, 2, 3. I think I need one more. Missing a piece. Well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to just stick these aside and I'll have them. So the white, we're going to cut 4 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 because these are going on the inside of the 4 cards. Hi Joan, thank you for joining me. I know I'm going kind of fast. I do have a PDF on this available for anybody that places an order from my online store of the designer series paper. 5 1/4. So I have one for each piece, and I save these little pieces here for other cards because I have a lot of 1/2-inch sentiments that work great on those strips. So I'm going to stick these 4 aside. And then I'm going to cut 2.5 by 2.5. 2.5 by 2.5. And that goes with, whoops, this one. And then I'm going to cut 1.5 by 2.25. So this is just shy of 1.25. So I'm going to make this 1.5 and 2.25. And that's for my sentiment. No, I'm not going to use that little piece. That's for my sentiment piece that goes with these. And then I need 2 pieces of 1 inch by 2.5. So I believe this is 2.5. And I need 2 pieces. 1 inch by 2.5. Confusing myself. And these are for my sentiments. One goes with the long piece, this one, and one goes with this piece. And then I need 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So this is just too small. Cut a little bit off here. What did I say I needed? 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. So I'll cut 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. I've done this a number of times, and I confuse myself each time. But you know what? it comes out really good. So I have to grin and bear it. All right, I'm going to put these pieces aside. Then I have my light colored cardstock, and I'm just going to score it at 4 1/4, both of the pieces for our card bases, and then cut it at 5 1/2. 1 2, 4 1/4, score, 5 1/2. There we go. So now I have my 4 cards. Now I'm going to put the trimmer aside for now. I will use it when I start doing inside pieces. So I'm going to start with card number 1. Put all these aside. Get out my bone folder and burnish my score line. And then I'm going to, these are the pieces for this card, and I want to stamp, like I said, this is my new favorite stamp set, because look what it has. It has everything. Birthday, thank you, congratulations, anniversary, friend, thinking of you, best wishes. It's just, I love it. It's my new favorite stamp set. Alright. I have my 2 inks, and so this is the card that we're doing. So I will just kind of put it up here so you can sort of see it. Sort of. Alright, so we're going to stamp anniversary wishes. So I have anniversary and I have wishes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my glass mat here, or if you have a grid paper, and I took this and I lined it up so that I could put it even. So I'm going to put that like that, and then this like that. so I can kind of see. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I can't really get a close-up, but I'll show you with the stamp. So I'm going to put a block on it. So I lined it up so that everything was even, and I'm going to stamp anniversary wishes on this. I think that's the right size. Yep. And I'm going to do it in the darker color. Sorry for the squeak. See all the ink all over the pad? I brought this to a class at the senior center. Ink it up. And the first woman that used it squished it everywhere. So it's been a mess ever since. There we are. Anniversary wishes. I'm going to close my ink. And as you know, I try to clean right away with my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist. Give it a couple spritz. The raindrops on one side, sun on the other, so you know this is the side that you wash on. And just give it a quick scrub. Now these polymer stamps tend to pick up red and stain, but it's clean. And then I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back of this. And mount it on the cardstock in the middle. And I'm going to mount this here. It's pretty on the other side, isn't it? That's the thing about some of the designer series papers. They're so pretty on both sides. You want to use both of them. Alright, now this goes from top to bottom. It's not a middle thing, but I center it. So see, it goes from the very top of the cardstock. I'm going to bring out my folded card, put some Stampin' Seal on this, and I'm going to put it in about, I don't know, I guess about a ½ an inch from the side, ½ an inch to 3/4, like so. Hopefully it's even. Maybe it's not. It's not cooperating today. I've had a really long day. I got up before 7. I had some house guests come down from my daughter's bridal shower, and it was an action-packed weekend. Alright, now I have my banner, and I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the corners and peel the backings off. And then I'm going to mount it about a ½ an inch or so from either side. Alright, there's our first card. We'll do the bling all at the end, but I just wanted you to see. So there's our first card. I have others. I'll show you right now. I'll show you the 4 different now patterns, because I have them all right here. But see, this is how versatile the designer series paper is. See, same card, different cardstock, different designer series paper. Alright, we're going to put those aside. And then we're going to do this one. And for this one, I need all these pieces and my corner pieces. Alright, which, did I do that right? I did. Okay. So this is where I'm going to use that Playing in the Rain stamp set. But I'm going to use this little guy right here because he's so adorable. And my daughter loves turtles. Doesn't want to come out of the case for me. Alright, there it is. And I'm going to stamp this on an angle. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna do him in how about Lost Lagoon, because that's in this designer series paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a different color and ink him up and stamp him, like I said, at an angle. I'll line up my little corners there so I get a better idea of centering it. Alright, there he is in Lost Lagoon. Clean my stamp quickly. It's still wet from before, so I'm just going to wash and dry. And put him away so that he's out of my way. And then I'm going to mount it on here. Now this piece I want straight. So I'm going to put some seal on the back. You can use whatever adhesive you're more comfortable with. I know that the multi-purpose glue, sometimes it's easier for some people because then they can move it around a little. But all I did was I lined it up so that I had it centered. Let's see, did I center it? Yeah. And then I know that this line and this line are the center. There. Then I'm going to take these little corners. Now you could use the multi-purpose glue for these if you'd like. And I'm just going to put them, I guess it's about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Hi Jamie, welcome, welcome. And I'm going to line it up. Sometimes it's easier if I just line it up like this so I can see that I've got a straight line about 1/4 of an inch around. And like I said, it may be easier if you use the multi-purpose glue, but this is so much quicker. I've just become accustomed to using the Stampin' Seal. Alright. One more. Again, I'm going to turn it because then it lines up better. Alright, so there's my little guy. And then I have a card base already scored at 4 1/4. Burnish it. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment that says thank you. I'm going to do it in red. Real red. I liked the nice dark rich color. Ink it up. Center it as best you can. It's not always easy. If you don't like how it came out, turn it over. Do it on the other side. Alright. Wash and dry. And then I'm going to put this together. I'm going to put this on the corresponding real red cardstock. And I'm going to put this on. You could do whichever you want, but I'm going to put this on with seal and the sentiment on with dimensionals. And then once I'm done with all 4 cards, then I will pull the bling out. Alright, it's about 1/2 inch all the way around. Get out my dimensionals. Take off the backings. Do you guys have these all over your floor too? My husband's so good. He vacuums them up every once in a while so that it's not too bad. And then I'm going to just center this here. I'm putting the same amount of space below and above. So there's our second card. I'll show you the other. There's one. So this is the same design, 4 different designer series papers. So see how creative you can get just using these designer series papers? I absolutely love them. Okay, the next card we're going to do, pull out the card base, get my bone folder. There we go. The next one we're going to do is this one, which is this one right here. So I'm going to stamp birthday wishes. So I'm going to pull out birthday and wishes. Again, I'm going to try to line it up on the lines here, just so that there's some sort of equalness to it. I think it's just the Virgo in me. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm doing it in 2 different colors. Scratch that. I forgot. I'm like, why isn't it fitting on this block? That's why. Alright. Birthday. And I'm going to go as far over to the right and top as I can. Put the ink away. Quickly wash and dry, because red is the worst to get on you and it gets everywhere. Ugh. Especially your clothes. Okay, and then wishes. I'm going to do in the Pretty in Pink because that's the other main color. Ink up and put it on the bottom left. Can you see what I'm doing? There. Close my ink. Quickly wash and dry. Alright, now let's put this together. So I just, adhesive of choice, but I tend to use the Stampin' Seal the most. Center it. And then I'm putting these on the corresponding red cardstock. They're just a 1/4 of an inch smaller than each other. So I think it's 2 1/2 and 2 1/4. Alright. 1. 2. Pull out my card base. Now these two, like I said, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal on these. Sticking to me. I just had to get a bunch more of these. I've been going through them, so. And I'm going to put it about just a smidge, I guess it's about 1/4 of an inch from the top and the side. And again, from the bottom and the right. So hopefully this is about the same as these. Then again, I'm going to take my dimensionals and put them on. Pull off the backs, throw them on the floor. No, I don't throw them on the floor. I throw them in the trash, but they tend to fly. I'm going to center this as best I can. That's about right, I think. Alright, so here are those 4 cards. Here's the one we just did, and here's the other ones that I did this week to practice. All right, 3. It goes by pretty quickly, actually. All right, the last one, gonna burnish this. Stick it aside. So I have 3 that are exactly the same. 2 of them are going to have the designer series paper, and 1 is going to have a stamp. So I stamped Thinking of You. So I'm going to pull out the Thinking of You stamp, put it on a block. I tend to put it at an angle because I find that when I hold it, then I can see it. If I put it this way, now I'm covering it. I can't see it as well. So I tend to put my stamp at an angle. Just if you're wondering why. I know everybody's different. Everybody has their preference. I'm just going to ink up. Center it. Hope it's straight. If it's not, you know what? It's okay. Flip it over or just go with the flow. Alright, quick wash and dry. And now I'm going to adhere. Just some Stampin' Seal on the back. Center it. Same with these. So this paper is from the, what's it called, Full Circle? No, now I can't remember. Circle of Friends. I think that's what it is. But I like it because that was nice and bright. Now I'm going to put them on here. I'm going to do the 2 DSP ones first. And again, I'm going to do it about 1/4 of an inch. So here you can see 1/4 inch from the left. So that was the left top. The left bottom, I'm going to do about 1/4 of an inch from the left bottom and the left top. And then I'll put dimensionals on this. And you could put the dimensionals however you want on it. I just happen to just put 3 on this one. Pull off the backs. And then I'm going to do this about 1/4 of an inch from the right. So it should be about 1/4 of an inch here, 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 here. Try to get it a little symmetrical. It's the Virgo in me. All right. So here are the 4 cards. Done with that pattern. And see how quickly they came together? Now for the inside, I just took, I'm going to put these out, pull the pink ones out. And I did, just to show you. Now I did not put any sentiments on the inside because I don't know, like especially for thank you, I like to write what I'm thankful for. And thinking of you, why I'm thinking of you. Now, these 2 here, I could put a sentiment on the inside if I choose, once I decide who the card's going to. So here's the first one. And this is what I did on the inside. So see, there's the pattern. I'm going to take my white cardstock and I have the little pieces that I told you to hold on to, and I have some red pieces, and I'm just going to adhere these on here and then cut them. It's nothing fancy, it just adds a little something to the inside. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could use just the designer series paper instead of adding the cardstock, but because I had these small little pieces, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put these inside. And instead of getting out my trimmer, I'm just going to quick cut these, gauge and cut. Gauge and cut, and then add these to the inside. I put the smaller one up top and the bigger one on the bottom. See, it just adds a little something to the inside. Not that you have to. You could just put the plain white cardstock in. Alright, I'm going to center this. And there we go. One. And then this one, I just put little squares up top. So I have two of these, or this one piece, and I'm going to cut this up. Should be 4 inches. Yep. I'm going to cut 4 1-inch by 1-inch squares. Can you see what I'm doing? 4 1 by 1 squares. So this is already 1 inch. Just trying to make use out of every little bit I can. And then one of them we're going to cut into triangles again. Now that's not for the card that I'm doing this inside of, but just because I have the trimmer out now. So see, I'm putting the points in the channel as best I can. Move this to the center and then cut it. And then that way you're not going to get any squished corners. And then I have these two pieces. So I'm going to take, is it this? Nope. These two pieces. And I'm going to make these 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Suppose I could have done it just from that one piece, but oh well. Hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it? All right. I'm just going to put these on here. Now remember, there's two sides, so you could always use the other side if you felt that it made a nice accent on your card. I'm going to pull these out. Put one in the top right and one in the bottom left. There we go. Add some seal to put it in the inside. There we go. Ta-da! All right. Then we're going to do, since I cut it already, this one, I'll do that one. And all I did was I took these pieces and I did not put the red under, or the colored cardstock underneath. I just put them flush. So I'm going to add my adhesive to all 4 of these corners and then put 1 in each corner. And remember, they're 1 by 1, so they're all even. There we go. It's sticking to my finger. Sometimes I feel like I'm all thumbs, and that's right now. Alright, get some adhesive. And put it on the inside. Alright, last one, this one, is they're all buried. I had 2 strips here, and I'm going to show you both. Another one, I did it this way. So I tend to like that it's centered better. So that's how I'm going to do it. But I wanted you to see that there are plenty of options to add just a little bit of color on the inside. So again, I'm getting out my trimmer. And this is the last piece of DSP. And it's 1.5 inches. Whoops. 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut it 3/4 of an inch. And then I think it's 2 1/4. So I need 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 2 1/2. So I think these are the same width of this. Yep. I'm going to do 2 1/2 and cut it. Hopefully I did it right. If not, we'll find out, right? I'm just going to add adhesive to these. Just a strip will do. Stick it in the middle. Get out that last white piece of cardstock. Add some adhesive. I'm going to center it. Hopefully. Center it. Then we'll put it inside. Put this in. There we go. So here are our 4 cards that we just did using the 6x6 Designer Series paper. Pretty easy, huh? Alright, I'm going to add some bling and then post these on Pinterest and my Facebook page so that you can see them. Again, Stampin' Up! Is having a sale, 15% off for the month of August. Any Designer Series paper purchased through me, you can get the tutorial for free on these 4 cards, and I would love to send it to you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you learned something. Designer Series paper is our friend. And it makes card making easy. The colors are vibrant. The pictures and prints and paintings and everything that Stampin' Up! Does just makes beautiful card. Next week I will be back with Product Highlight, 7 p.m. YouTube Live. Thank you very much and happy stamping.